Islands in the stream, that is what we are. No one in between. How can we be wrong? Sail away with me to another world, and we rely on each other. Uh-huh. From one lover to another.
Uh-huh.
Ah,
Beautiful.
beautiful.
Beautiful song. All right.
Yeah, so we talked with not recording at the same time, and we realized that we should record it
Yeah.
because everything we say is so great.
It's so valuable.
So we were like, why are we not recording this right now? So we had to stop it. So we just want to find the thread and just move on from there.
So I think one thing that we did that we didn't do was actually say your names out loud, because I think people know my name but not your names. So Emil, Ludde, Kalle.
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
the podcast.
Those are the people doing this podcast. Yeah.
And this is the exit strategy.
Yeah, exactly.
Welcome.
Yeah. Welcome. But it felt like we just had an amazing intro right now in this episode,
Yeah.
where we just like came to it right away
Yeah.
without even talking about how we should do it. We just like felt, okay, this is not working. Bam, we do it in another way.
Yeah.
That's
I think
cool.
so.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. And should I then say what the startup is?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
because
so.
we didn't do that
No.
in the last
No, yeah,
episode.
that's
We
true.
were like, why are we doing this? And maybe we should come on to
Yeah.
what the
So
startup is.
the whole idea, I have my channel, which I basically document the process of building a startup. And my vision for that, or my idea has been like, it would be so interesting to have a full story from like an idea of an app to like a finished product and actually like released app. And then we've been talking, and I realized that, okay, it would be even more interesting to bring it to like the series, whatever it is, investments, like the first round of investments, like trying to find some person out there that thinks that this is a good idea and wants to actually invest in the startup, and actually document the process from, like I've done now, from the idea of the app until I actually sit, or we actually sit with an investor and actually meet them. And I think that's something that we haven't seen anywhere else. And I think that could be something very unique. And that's also, this podcast is going to be like an integral part of that journey.
And the good thing about it is that I think that we three together also are very tech interested and startup interested, and there's a one point where we are collide. No, not collide. Collide is like different, right?
Oh, yeah,
Converge.
Converge.
yeah.
Yeah. Collide is more.
It's the bad. It's the
It's
chance
exactly.
versus risk.
It's the
Yeah.
chance versus risk,
Yeah,
which
yeah,
is in Swedish more prominent than in
Yeah.
English, right?
Mm.
Yeah.
I'd say so. Yeah, and I mean, it's also going to be a fun process. I mean, we're very good friends, all of us, and we enjoy having long conversations, usually way too long. And I think that just doing this podcast, and as you said, being able to document the entire process from idea in a way that's what your YouTube channel has
Yeah.
been.
Yeah.
Your progression, you documenting your way into making this app in a way, and you deviated from your path in some ways and created a lot of content on YouTube. Check it out. And I think that this podcast is going to be similar to that, a parallel running along where you can discuss these ideas that you have together with us, and hopefully in the future we can look back on this podcast and be like, yeah, it's been a long road taking us to pitch in front of investors, but there's going to be a lot of fun content and a lot of hopefully educational content and also inspiring content for other people out there listening, that we're just three completely regular dudes, have different interests, we're good friends, and we created this thing together.
Like showing the
But I think about like with your YouTube channel, that as you said, it's a process or a progress from when you try to start to code to now. And I think one very important word is inspiring. that I think
Oh,
you
yeah.
inspire people to do the same. Maybe with not coding, but you can just come up with something that you want to be good at and share that with everyone else on YouTube. And I feel like that's what we're aiming for. We want to inspire people to see that it doesn't matter who you are. You don't have to be an Oxford student or like really smart, because I'm not smart. I'm really bad in school, but at the same time I had a startup already and we could do that again, and I think we will be, yeah, we want to show people that whoever you are, you can try to do a startup. It's just a matter of time and effort and how long you want to run.
Yeah.
And also that with the right team and with the right people, even though the startup that you create might be a failure in the end, you may not bring it to the market or whatever, it's going to be an extremely fun process and creative process, and you're going to learn so much about yourself and your friends and like everything. So I definitely see this as a win-win situation, no matter what the outcome may be.
Yeah.
Yeah. We get to hang out. We get to talk about the startup.
Yep.
And we might actually build something.
Or
And
you will build something.
yeah, already built
yeah.
something. But yeah. And that's what I was thinking about before too, that my videos has always been like trying to show that I attempt something that I don't know from the beginning. It's not like I'm an expert in the field that I'm attempting, or it's just that I'm interested in trying to build X thing, and then I show the journey of like, okay, trying to figure it out, trying to solve it. Maybe I don't come up with like the best way of actually solving it, but it's just about the process of like showing and inspiring other people, and also making content that I would like to watch myself. I feel like this podcast, at least what I'm envisioning for it, is a podcast that I would be really interested in listening to. And especially when I got into programming, I would be super interested in hearing like an actual startup and like listening to the whole journey of it through a podcast.
Yeah, I was thinking about something, but I can't remember, but it was really good.
It was really good. Oh, you should have been there.
Yeah, I mean, you had this. You had a word. You said something during the past half an hour. You said the goal of your YouTube channel is in a way to
inspiration, not replication.
Yeah, inspiration, not replication, and that is such an important thing, I think, because a lot of people. I mean, I watch your videos and I see what
all of them, of course.
All of them, definitely, multiple times.
Yeah.
But I see some people commenting that they want to see more programming, and some people, as we talked about earlier, want to see more of your vlogs and your life and want to get to know you better as a person. And I just think that inspiration, not replication, is such a smart way of words, because in a way you do same with this podcast. We want to inspire people to, if they have an idea for a solution for a problem that they see in this society or whatever it might be, we are not going to tell them every single step they don't have to follow us as a how to do, or this is the first step, this is the second step, because that's not how it works. It's more to, as we said, to inspire people to take action, to do something with their ideas. And
and if you, for instance, if you look at pitch decks, you can look at the top 10 companies in the world right now, and they will have very different pitch decks. And I think that says that we can maybe show that this is how we did the pitch deck, but each company or startup is very different and should focus on very different thing, because you have different unique selling points and so on. So as you said, inspiring, but also that I came up with, which was so very, very good.
Oh, okay, yeah. Let's hear it.
It's the most obvious thing in the world, but entrepreneurs are not maybe the one who knows the best of everything, but they just they want to do new stuff. They're not afraid of challenges, and they are very eager to learn new ways of whatever. So that was the really good thing, you know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
breaking
it's
the
good
box.
that you remember.
Yeah, came up now. Great, guys. As I said, I'm not smart. When did we start? Because I'm thinking about the
I
time
don't
and
know.
the cameras.
I think we were
but-
speaking
I'll
for
check.
17 minutes.
Oh yeah, maybe
17,
some.
do you have it?
Yeah, you have
No,
it.
I don't. I was just
But it's probably around.
guesstimation.
Yeah, I would say 15, 17 minutes.
29.
Yep.
No, 16:30.
Oh,
16:30,
that's
wow.
really good. That's
Yeah.
really good. Ah, yeah. Then we have time.
What time is it?
6:10.
6:10. Okay.
The super structured podcast.
Yeah, but that's the thing, that this is a room.
Yeah.
We just want to create a very sweet spot where we can be ourselves,
Yeah.
and that means looking what time is on the camera to, so then don't shut up, shut off,
Shut up.
shut up, shut up.
Shut up.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. We want to be as transparent as we can when it comes to this. I mean, this is the first time we do it, and there's a lot of lessons to be learned and a lot of things that we have to get used to, especially not you know, as verbal affirmation that we talked about earlier.
Yes.
Yes, definitely. But I think that by doing so, we're going to create hopefully a community of listeners that are more understanding if we make mistakes, or if something goes wrong, or maybe a podcast doesn't end up getting uploaded one week or whatever it might be. It's much easier to create this transparency in the beginning and to maintain it than to try to implement it later on when you've already created a very structured podcast. So, I mean, there's no shame in showing your flaws.
No.
Yeah, that's the thing with, if we see at the world right now, where people are not showing their flaws at all, they're just thinking about their brand, because every person right now is a brand, and a brand is very restricted in some ways. You can do whatever you want, but you have to fit the frame.
Yeah.
And I think that could be a very stressful way for people in our society, or youths or adolescents, to live like that. And that's why we want to do something much or very different. We want to be transparent instead from the beginning and say that this is hard, this is easy, blah blah blah. Because to inspire people to feel comfortable, because I think it's about being comfortable, that you can do this as well. We feel it. We can be ourselves here. We don't have to live up to something.
No. Yeah, I think that's super important that and that's also like one of the hacks behind my channel, or like one of the things that I've been trying to do is by showing that I'm not an expert, and like being transparent and like showing easy fails that I do, and that sort of stuff. It kind of shows the audience that I'm not an expert, and therefore they're not going to treat me as an expert, and they're not going to be like, oh, why are you so stupid? Why did you miss this thing? They're going to be like, okay, maybe I should help him. And so they'll comment useful and like actually helpful things, which has been really good. And I don't get many like super negative comments. And I think that's a huge part of it, like showing, not trying to be something or an expert, because then it's really easy to be like opposed to whatever I say in a video.
And one thing that we have in common with most of our conversations is that we do in many cases play the devil's advocate. So we usually take the other side, even though we do not agree with whatever we're saying, or the argument that we're displaying or portraying. It's important to view things from every possible perspective, and I think that might be valuable when it comes to creating a startup as well. That it's very easy to think or to believe that the ways I think or the way we think is the way the majority of people think, but maybe that isn't the case. Maybe we're the odd ones out. Maybe the majority of people think that this idea is useless, or that this way of marketing is much better than this other way that we feel is more relevant or would be better.
Yeah.
So I think it's important for us to be able to go out, not on a whim, but to take different sides, to use different perspectives, to argument against and for even though we might not, our opinions might not line up with the arguments that we are using.
No.
And that is also part of the transparency that we have to have. And we also have to be able to take those sides quite early on, so that people understand that we're not all just yes men that would say, yeah, let's go with this idea, let's go with this idea. I mean, we have to question every move that we do, almost, yeah. What do you think? I mean, you've had a startup, you've done a startup, so.
Yeah, I think that the differences is the most important part in the chemistry with the people. That if you have three people that say yes to everything, you will just not develop. You will probably just go running really fast and do whatever you feel at the time is good. But I think that you need to have a different characters, and in organizational studies as well, they say that the more perspective you have, the better, because as long as you have you give everyone the voice to talk about things and discuss, and that each matters, that's the best way for a company or a startup or like a football team or whatever to complete and succeed. But and as well, as you said, with the devil's advocate, that I think it's really good, because then you're trying to you try to open up more thinking and new ways. So you just you see how you can, even if the argument or the devil's advocate's side is wrong, it can be good to think through your idea again, to see if you can develop it even more the second time you see it. Because sometimes I feel that I can come up with an idea and then I'm like, yeah, let's do this. This is like the best thing ever, and I don't hesitate. And I need people that push me down a bit, even if I hate it at the moment, because I'm like, man, how can you not see this? You should see it in my eyes. Like, from my point of view, it's crazy good.
This is like a sick opportunity.
This is a sick opportunity. We should do it. But you need to come down and just rethink it 1 or 10 times. So, yeah.
And this also, in a way, ties into what this conversation we had yesterday about intentions, and that you might be very ambitious, or you might be like, I have this idea and I feel that this is going to work. This is going to be the best idea. This is the best idea I've ever had. And I might question you, not necessarily because I don't believe in you, more that I want to make sure that you've also thought about these things. And there are several ways that I can actually not confront your idea, but I can talk to you in different ways. And there are different ways that you can choose to reciprocate those arguments or those questions. And it's very important that we try to keep in mind that the intentions of all of us is to how should I put this, is to further develop and give more perspective into ideas. We're trying to help each other. We're not trying to bring each other down, but we're trying to make sure that, have you thought about this? Have you thought about this? And in a way, when you are the one carrying that idea and that ambition and the drive behind the idea, that might feel like you're weighing me down, or you're not giving me the energy to pursue this idea. But in a way, that is maybe exactly what is necessary. As you said, it creates more development, further development, which is very important for your idea to become as successful as you want it to become.
Yeah. And I just thought of when in my company, when we were pitching to different investors in different times, like after 2 years we were pitching, and after 3 years we were pitching for someone else, and after 4 years we also pitched for new people and several different types of investors. And I realized that there were 2 completely different businesses during this 2 years, this 2 year period, basically. So
so do you mean your business?
Yeah,
became 2 different ones.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. So the first one was a bad pitch, and we hadn't thought it through. We hadn't developed it too much. We hadn't yeah, we hadn't seen around that
Yeah.
we had this idea or vision, we should do this, and we hadn't thought about it too much, and we had to have 3.5 years to realize what we wanted to do. And we had one pitch for 5 investors where they were grilling us hard. It was really hard, and we were like, we couldn't answer their questions because we weren't prepared.
Oh.
And after that, we were thinking for 2 weeks, how should we solve this? Because they have a point. They actually have a point. How should we do? And we come up with a good solution, and then 3 weeks later, we realized that we had to do the solution even better, and even better. So the last pitch we have was really good,
Yeah.
really, really good. But we had to do it so many times, so we did, and continue to develop it during that time. So it's the same with just a normal idea or whatever. I have this idea. Maybe I have to get questionized like 10 times before I really know what I'm talking about. And I also learn how to sell my idea, because the first time I'm just having, something is good over there and something is gray and something is red. But the 10 times I know what I'm selling, and then I will be more confident, and you will also be like, yeah, that's a really good thing.
When you did your pitch and you got criticized, did you feel? Because I can imagine, usually when I'm just speaking from personal experience, but when I have an idea and someone questions it and I feel, bloody hell, they're right, I get more emotionally affected by it than I would if I just, man, you don't know what you're talking about. And that might be a personality trait, but usually when I get more affected by whatever the other person is saying or the critique that I'm getting, it's usually because they're right. So it's like an indicator. Was this hard to hear? Means it's correct. Means that you have to work on these things. This pitch wasn't good. Did you feel that way after you did the pitch? Or like when you were criticized, did you feel like, bloody hell, what have we gotten ourselves into? This was so much.
Yeah, I think it took a few hours, because at that time when you are with an investor, you also have to be very confident in your selling and in your company. So we were like really confident in our solution, but when they asked us things, we had good answers. We were like, yeah, we cannot do that because of X, Y, and Z. But a few hours later, it came to us that we were like, yeah, maybe they have a point. And I think also that we talked with another really important person or investor just a couple of days later, and he said the same thing. So I think we heard it like twice, that it's a really good idea, but you have to solve this solution. If you don't solve it, it won't work. It will be very...
Do you remember what it was?
We were trying to create this platform with a lot of users, and he said that you have to find a bridge on how you will get the users for small money, because otherwise I can give you 100 million Swedish crowns and you can buy the users, and then you will have a running app. It's really good, but I won't give you that money. So you have to find a way to get these into your platform without pay 10 Swedish crowns or like $1 for each
per user.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we were thinking on how we would do that, and we came up with an idea. Do you remember what it was?
Where you asked, or I asked, if you remember what the question was that the investor asked.
Yeah.
And I think also maybe preface it with, I could try to explain what your company was, just so that we get some context before we go into it.
Absolutely.
And then maybe you can give more context because you know the company better. But basically, Ludde, your company was called Rise. It was a startup. It was an app, and the idea was to essentially create like a Tinder for people looking for jobs. So they would go on to this app, and then they would be able to see like, okay, at this supermarket they're looking for people, and then they could swipe through different jobs of like different companies that would be looking for people. And it would be a way for students to very easily apply for jobs. I don't know. more details about it, but
It's
yeah.
like simplifying the recruitment process.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Making it easier because when you're young, right now, when you're gonna apply for a job, you probably have to write several different types of CVs because each employer expects different kinds of answers to their questions. So we wanted to give the power to the applicants rather than the employers.
Okay.
And they create one profile, and that's the one profile they have. And we also saw a problem where when I was 16 and were looking for jobs, or 19, I didn't really know where to look. It was like, how do I apply for a job? And this were going to be a simple way. Just download an app, create a profile, and then you can start looking for jobs,
Yeah.
basically.
And so the question then because you actually got so far that you got to meet with investors and like talk to them and get questions, get feedback. And you were saying that one of the questions that they were asking you that actually made you think about like, okay, we need to change something. And I was asking you what that question was.
Yeah, so that question was, they wanted us to have a solution where we could, when you try to build a marketplace, you usually do that over time because you need to get more users. And when you have a lot of users, you have a fully marketplace where we can meet, basically. And in the beginning, you probably have to do it in some other way. You have to attract people to get into the app, and then because we were trying to have both employers and employees, and that's very hard to get them to come here without paying a lot of money in marketing to get users, or try to sell a lot of, or do a lot of time with companies and try to get them to have our system, and that's also very. So we were like, we can have, if we have a lot of users, companies want to be here in our platform.
Because you ended up with kind of like a what do you call it, catch-22 moment.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you needed users to get the company's involvement or their interest, and you needed companies to get users, because no one wants to download a platform to apply for jobs if there's no jobs to apply for.
Yeah. And the investor said that I can give you $10 million and you will have a lot of users, but I won't give you that because that's too easy. I want you to try a bit harder. And then after that grilling where we still had answers on everything they said, we were like, we had to find a solution, and we did. But it took like 3 or 4 days I think that you can right there be like very confident in what you think, but you have to melt it inside of you and rethink it 100 times, and then you probably come up with an idea or accept where you are and try to start. So how can we solve this then? This is a problem, because probably we won't find any other investors that won't have the same type of feedback.
Yeah, because we discussed the potential like emotional reaction that you have when you get criticized. Well, not criticized, but when you get feedback for something that you know you have to change. And I was just thinking, in regards to that, Kalle, on YouTube, like when you upload a video and you get a bunch of comments, and maybe some of them are extremely, not mean, but hateful comments, or this video was a lot worse than the last one, or as you said before, there was too little coding in this video, so I'm going to unsubscribe. How do you deal with that pressure and those kind of comments?
It's difficult because the thing about like where I think there's a saying or something where it's like if you get 100 positive things and then someone says one negative thing, the thing that you remember is the negative thing. So it's something that definitely sticks a lot more, but I try to think about like the overall the overall emotional reaction to the video based on like the overall comments. And if there's like a comment that's completely like unnecessarily hateful or like just doesn't add any value to me, or like say how I could fix something, then I'll just delete it, because it doesn't make sense for me to have it, because then I might go back and see it again, and then I'll think about it again, and then it will add up over time, I think. So I've just had the rule of like, I'm going to delete stuff if it doesn't help the channel.
Is that like a normal strategy on YouTube, or
I don't know. I don't know how any other like creators do it. I haven't really heard about. I don't think people generally talk about deleting comments, because I think it can sound a bit like you're trying to force a narrative, or like trying to make it seem like, oh, there's so many positive comments on this video, while in the reality there was maybe like a ton of really negative comments. But that's also not what I'm trying to do. I'm just trying to like remove stuff that doesn't actually help. And like there's ways most people comment, or some people might comment like, you should have added this value, or this, you should have used clearer variable names in programming, or you should use this color instead for the app, or whatever. And in that case, I'll save it, because it doesn't matter. It's great to get feedback like that. I think it's super valuable. But if it's just like, oh, you suck so bad, don't show this, and then I might delete it, especially if it's like not funny in any way. Like sometimes a hateful comment can actually be relatively funny, so then I might keep it. But if it's just like completely garbage in all the senses of garbage, then I'll just delete it.
Yeah, I mean, I read through your comment section sometimes, not all of them, but some of them, and usually I feel like you have a very positive community, and the feedback that you do get is very constructive. Like the ones that I've read are super constructive, where I'm like, obviously I don't have at all the same experience in programming as you do, but I can understand that, well, they are very respectful, and they're trying to literally help you make your channel better. So if we have anyone who's listening to this that wants to make a change, or think that there's something that we're doing that is wrong, please be respectful and write a valuable comment. Write the
MVC.
Most
valuable comment.
The most valuable comment. And we'll actually try to bring it up and try to talk about it here. So if someone sees our podcast or listen to our podcast, and you feel that you should think about this, or you should bring this topic up, or whatever it might be, please do write. We want to have as much feedback as we can. And if you really think that something is trash,
like this conversation right now.
Yeah. Like the first episodes, they're gonna be like episode 100. It's still gonna be like, dude, first episode is shit.
Just give us 100 episodes, and then we'll be fine.
But just one question about looking to Kalle's comments. Is that something you regularly do when you are on YouTube on other channels? Do you look at what people comment, and why?
I've started doing it more, and I've also started commenting more since actually starting a YouTube channel myself, because I used to think that like a channel with 100,000 subscribers, I would think that person is never going to read the comments. He's never going to see what I'm saying. But since I've started one myself, I realized that I actually read pretty much all comments. Like there's very few that I don't read. And so that's kind of made me feel like, okay, there's actually some value in commenting on other people's videos. So now like sometimes I'll comment on like MKBHD, and I'll comment on different other channels. Like there's another one called Ali Abdal. And he actually started subscribing because I commented on his video. But I guess that's also unfair, because it's not like anyone that comments on a person's video will get a subscribe because of that. It's because of the fact that like he saw that I had the tick because I had 100,000 subscribers or something at that stage.
Verified.
Yeah, verified tick next to my name. and that I think that also makes it so that like people will like the comments.
Yeah, it's
Really
true.
douche.
Yeah, super douche.
And the comment is
My
like,
name.
"You're trash."
Yeah, of course, because I'm verified, you know. But
Whatever I say is important.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. That's pretty much what it says. It says that
Exclusive
like this
member
comment has
card.
been verified by YouTube to be valuable.
Yeah.
No, but I think that's something, because that's what I see as well. If I see those comments, especially when you go on YouTube and check out comment sections, you'll see verified comments will usually be at the top. For some reason, probably YouTube maybe promotes them more. I don't know.
For sure.
So you're trying to get promoted by YouTube in the comments section on another channel. So people
Yeah.
are like, "Oh, Cal, that was." You could use it like Twitter. You can
Yeah,
probably get a fan
exactly.
base from your writing
Exactly.
instead.
You preface it as, yeah, I just want to show support and bring value to your video by commenting, but actually it's a marketing strategy.
Yeah,
Yeah, you're trying
yeah.
to reach out for more bigger a fan base.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did do that at the start, to be honest.
Transparency.
Yeah, but I don't think it didn't really work. It worked with him, but I think that was just like a random circumstance. I think I commented something actually like nice and somewhat valuable for his video that he made. And I think he just subscribed because I commented. Like, he probably doesn't watch my videos.
Wait, who subscribed
Ali Abdal.
to your channel?
Yeah.
Cool.
Oh yeah. Do you even know who it is?
No.
Oh, Ali Abdal. That's
But he's verified.
yeah. He's verified. Yeah.
But I think I didn't get my answer though to the question. That was a really good part though. I think that could be a clip.
Yeah.
But but at the same time, just like why are we or people reading comments? Is there what is the eagerness to see what other thinks about this video? Because it's one way if you're a YouTuber and you want to can connect with your community, but at the same time, why do we read comments if you're just a regular YouTube user? Is there any valuable information that you can get?
I think personally, because I do read quite a bit of comments. It depends on what kind of video it is, and depending on what kind of video it is, it's a different type of, like, I'm looking through the comment section for different reasons. So if let's say it's a Joe Rogan clip, I'm looking for funny comments usually, or if there's some other YouTuber that I find and I'm like, yeah, this comment section is gold, or this is like a really funny video, or it's a funny topic, whatever it might be. There's usually quite a lot of memes or funny comments in the comment section, and that's usually what I look for. Sometimes it might be actually to, let's say if there's a video and they bring up something, I might disagree with whatever they're saying, or there might be something in the video that I'm like, wait, that was weird, or that was odd, or did anyone else notice this? I might actually just check the comment section to see. It's almost like reaffirming my opinion, or reaffirming my reality. Like, yeah, did someone else actually think this was weird, or did someone else point this out? And I don't know, it's just you check the comments, and when it doesn't really give me anything more than that kind of like affirmation or like reassurance that basically that my opinion or whatever it is that I think or saw in the video is.
And at the same time, you were a longer time on YouTube, which is what they want. They want you to be there as long as you can. So it's a very, very, very simple way of having people stay on YouTube.
Spend more
It's
time.
a very easy, what do you call it? It's not.
It's like a strategy. It is.
Yeah.
In a way.
And I actually use it also sometimes for, like, if it's a instructional video or like it's something very specific, then I'll go through the comments and see, like, is this outdated now? Because it might be something from like 2 years ago or 3 years ago. And sometimes it will be like someone shows something and then someone will comment like, okay, this doesn't work anymore. Especially in like programming, because sometimes a package or something will be updated and all of a sudden what they show in the video isn't accurate anymore. So that can be super valuable, but I also use it for like the funny part. Usually people comment funny things, and yeah.
And also,
Entertainment.
like when it comes to longer videos, like sometimes you can see like some, if it's more of a documentary style, or if it's, or maybe it's just that the thumbnail and the title of the video like kind of leads onto like this is going to happen during this video. And if the video is very long and I don't find the rest of the content to be super exciting or interesting, you can just look through the comments and it might be like, yeah, at 11:08 this is what you came here for, or this is what you're looking for. You can just go down there, press that, and you'll end up with the content that you wanted to see when you press the or like click the video. So in a way, it's also by having a comment section, you do keep your viewers connected for a longer time in a way, because you can create this community and also like the back and forth and commenting on a comment and stuff. So it's more like interactive in that way. But in a way, it also might lead to people just looking at this 20-minute long video, but they just check these 50 seconds in the middle or in the end, because you can see a timestamp is right here. So yeah, there's both positive and negative sides for YouTube. But I think all in all, for YouTube as a platform, it is way more like if you look at TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, all of these platforms that are very, very big, they have comment sections, Facebook as well. So something is right with having a comment section, does in some way keep
But
people.
say that it is a very good way for them to create this network feeling and communities, and people will stay on YouTube, TikTok or whatever. It still has been, maybe it's not like a discussion you have 2022, but it has been problematic with the comment sections in all of these platforms, because it could be sometimes really harsh tonality there. And it feels like we just skipped that part in the discussion. Like there was a discussion, but so much have happened since then. So now it's just like, yeah, it exists. But even though when TikTok is a fairly new company, they didn't care about the discussion we had 5 years ago or 8 years ago about the comment section, and that it is problematic, and they just had it right away because it will create engagement. And
what's the time?
It's fine.
Okay.
It is.
Yeah, I think so. If you restarted it, or maybe.
I mean, I reckon we should check. Yeah.
Yeah, we should check
just in case.
Yeah.
I think this could be a section as well.
Yeah, probably.
This is the first episode, second episode. 18.
Ah, yeah.
Ja, men det är...
19 från... Ja, men det är perfekt.
Frågan är om vi ska klippa ihop alla de här grejerna.
Ja, jag tror det.
Ja, det tror jag.
I think it can be like a funny segment potentially that we are cheap enough to not have
the batteries.
The recorder, batteries with the recorder, so that we have to check the time.
Yeah. Everything in here is like DIY as well. Makeshift. Yeah, but the comment sections, I also think that the phenomenon of like internet bullying and especially in the comment sections of videos and stuff was quite new, and it took everyone with storm, because never have people been, well, I shouldn't say never, but I reckon it is never have people been as hateful and spiteful towards other people, because the things, it's quite obvious, but being anonymous or writing on a keyboard and sending it through to the internet, it's not the same thing as saying it face to face with another person. No. So I think just it was, I don't know. I mean, I've never written a hateful comment, so I don't really see the value in it.
Okay, I have. So
you have? Yeah. Okay, maybe you can explain.
Well, there's a thrill to it, and yeah.
Yeah. No, but I think a lot of, like, a big reason for why people do write hateful comments is just frustration.
Or they feel like too engaged. They feel like they have the ability, or like they feel that they can do it because they are so deep dived in that in that conversation, or I'm a really big follower for this YouTube channel, and it feels like this parasocial relationship where you feel like I know you, and we as a community, we know each other, and that's why I can say those things. That you're getting fooled, basically. But yeah, maybe it's just like all of these, it feels like, as you said, it happened and we didn't had that sort of thing before, and it happens so much new things every year, and like each thing has each time, except Me Too. I think Me Too is one that will have like a major impact and going on, we're trying to get a more equal society. But the comment section feels like we're just, it's not that big. We drop it. Just think about what you write, basically.
Yeah, but I don't know if it's just, maybe it's because the videos that I'm looking at on YouTube, I'm not on Facebook at all anymore.
No.
But videos on YouTube, maybe it's just that the content that I'm looking at is less engaging in that way, or maybe the fan base or the community that these people have built up, the YouTubers that I look at or the videos that I see, are just not compatible with hateful comments. Because I feel that lately, or I don't know, maybe it's a YouTube algorithm that they actually like suppress the comments that are mean and spiteful. Maybe that's something that has got to do with it, because in my opinion, I feel that the hateful comments have decreased. The amounts of hateful comments that I see, at least, have decreased, and usually it's quite like it's funny or positive, especially like the first 10.
Yeah, I think so too, and I think maybe like, let's say you watch tech videos, like there's not much hateful, like there's not much to hate on, potentially. Like you can hate on like, this person obviously thinks that this, or is like super biased towards this company, but I don't think that potentially brings up such a strong emotion as it does with like people who show their personality potentially, or like share controversial opinions about like politics and all that sort of stuff. Because I think that's where the real like negative comments actually, or negative commenters hang out, I think.
Yeah, emotional engagement, like where that's compatible. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's very true.
Smart.
Apple fanboy. That's like the meanest comment that you see on MKBHD or something.
Yeah. Constantly.
I don't know how we came to this place where about comments, but
we were talking about people commenting on this video.
And criticism.
Criticism.
Negative feedback, but feedback.
Feedback,
and then it turned into negative feedback. But do you like, how often do you feel that you read the comment section and you take something with you from like the positive stuff? Is it every video you feel like, I should have done that, or I should think about that to the next time, or is it more like, well, it feels nice to have a positive comment section?
Most or depends. Like when I make technical stuff, when it's very technical, the video where I talk about like a specific thing that I'm doing, or I have a problem, then usually I'll get some comment that'll be like very useful. There was someone for one video where I was like talking about the fact that when I load an exercise into the app, it takes a long time to do it, and I was like struggling with how to figure that out. And then someone was talking about like, okay, you could probably cache it in the app somehow, or maybe they didn't say that, they said something else. But I think what the essence of what they said was like, use some sort of caching system. And that was something that I brought with me, that was like, okay, I probably need to come up with a way to store stuff locally on the device, at least temporarily, so that it can be like faster access to it. And then you can upload it to the database when the app is closed down or something like that, where it could do it in the background while you're working out, and it doesn't have to be as you're pressing a button, potentially. So in that sense, it comes like, there's a lot of those sort of comments when it's technical, but when there's not really a technical aspect to it, then the positive comments are good to get, but it's not like helpful because it doesn't really bring anything. It's hard to say like, yeah, you should get up in a better way out of bed or something like that. There might not be many things to comment on that are actually going to be helpful, I think.
What do we think about the time?
Yeah, it should be 2 minutes or something like that.
All
2
right,
minutes. Yeah.
Should we say that this is like the first episode?
The wrap.
Yeah, yeah.
The wrap
It
for the
feels
first
like
episode?
Wrapping
Yeah.
it up.
All right.
Nice, nice.
Super.
All right, let's do
This
let's-
was so much better than the first one. Like
Yeah,
the real
the
first
first
one.
that people won't get to see
Yeah.
for a while.
For a while. Bonus clip.
Bonus clip.
All right, thank you for watching this episode. And if you want to see more of us, you can check us out at any of the podcasting platforms of your choice, where you'll find us under the name of The Exit Strategy. And you can check out one of these clips also if you want to.